Bảo Linh.
Bảo Linh ơi.
Hello.
Okay.
My teacher, my Wi-Fi is a little bit weak.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
a little bit
can
weak.
hear it clearly.
Okay, I hope, can you hear me okay, Bảo Linh?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Okay, that's good. I can hear you fine. Okay. All right, everyone, can you please turn your cameras on? Thank you.
Các con ơi bật camera lên chứ. Ok, rồi.
Okay, Phong Linh. Hello, Phong Linh.
Trai xinh gái đẹp thế này đúng không? Ok.
Hello, teacher.
How are you, Phong Linh?
I'm fine.
Good. Okay, I can hear you fine. Phong Ni. Phong Ni. Hi, Phong Ni.
Hello, teacher.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. And Viet An, how are you?
Hello, teacher. I'm fine.
Good, good. And just checking I can hear you okay. I think I can hear you fine. I can see you. That's good. Noctu. Hello, Noctu.
Hello, teacher.
Okay, how are you, Noctu?
I'm fine.
Good. Okay, who else can I see? Jalin.
Hello,
Hi, Jalin. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. That's good. Can you please pull your camera down a little bit, Jalin? That's good. That's better. Thank you. Okay. Anji.
Hello, teacher.
Hello. How are you, Anji?
I'm fine.
Good. That's good. Okay, good. And who is next? Trami.
Hi, teacher.
Trami, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good, good. Can you also pull your camera down a little bit, please? Trami.
Please wait for me for a moment, please.
Sure. That's fine. Okay, how many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 today. All right, that's everyone because we have 2 away. Mrs. Ha told me before. Okay, everybody. So I hope you enjoyed having no lesson last week. Seems like ages since I last saw you. So I hope you were able to have a bit of a rest instead. So today we are going to start off with a little bit of talking. We're going to do another test. I always have a test for you. We're going to run through some of the basic words and phrases you should know when you are doing writing task 1. I think we might have done these before, but we will review them anyway. And they will also be looking at a couple of graphs, okay? The same one we looked at a couple of weeks ago and also one that is different, just in case you were getting bored with looking at the same graph. Okay, Bao Lin, can you hear me? Hello, Bao Lin. Okay, Bao Lin is frozen. I'll start with you, Fung Lin. Fung Lin.
Hello?
Can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me, Fung
Yes.
Lin?
Yes,
Okay,
I can hear.
good. Okay, Fung Lin, can you please start, please, by telling me one thing you have done or one thing that has happened to you since I last saw you, please?
Okay. Can you say again the question?
Okay, can you please tell me one thing that you have done or one thing that has happened to you since I last saw you?
Last week I have a physical test and it's so terrible.
You had a physics test, is that right?
Yes, yes,
A physics test, and it was terrible.
yes.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. Did you have any other tests?
No, I don't have.
Okay. Do you like doing physics?
No, I dislike. I dislike
Okay.
physics.
Okay. So you say, no, I don't like physics, or
No, I
no,
don't like it.
yeah, or I dislike physics. But don't like is better. That is more common in conversation. No, I don't like physics.
No, I don't like physics.
Okay, me neither, Bao Lin. I don't like physics either. I was terrible at physics. So why are you doing physics, darling? Sorry, Fung Lin? Fung Lin?
Yes.
Yes, why, if you don't like physics, why are you doing it?
Because it's in my school.
You mean, do you have to do it?
Yes, I have to do it.
Okay, do you know what the word is for something that you have to do? Do you know what the word is? One word that describes this? Begins with C, begins with the letter C.
Compulsory.
Yes, correct. Good, good. Okay, you just, so to answer my question, you would say because it's compulsory. Okay,
Because it's compulsory.
correct. That's perfect sentence. Because it's compulsory. Good. Okay, thank you, Fong Lan. Okay, sorry to hear about your test. Sounds terrible. Okay, who is next? Fung Ni. Okay, Fung Ni, your turn, please. One thing that has happened to you since I last saw you.
I think I got a bad mark, but math and English.
Okay, so you got a bad mark in maths and English. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you would say to me, I had a test in maths and English, but I got a bad mark. Can you say that for me, please?
I had a test at math and English, and I got a bad mark.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that, Fung Ni. Why do you think you got a bad mark in English? Why? What happened?
I think the test was so difficult, and all my friends got a bad mark too.
Okay, so what part of the test was so hard? What part of the test?
The part was the most difficult is reading.
The part that was the most difficult was reading. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's interesting. I usually find the Vietnamese students like you can usually read quite well. What made it so difficult, Fung Ni? Was it because there were many words you didn't understand?
Yeah, have many what I didn't understand.
Okay, what was the reading about? Can you remember?
The reading is about the Iceland, I think.
Okay, it was about Iceland. Remember always to use, when you're talking past tense, of course, you have to use was. The reading was about Iceland, not is about Iceland. Okay? Okay, thank you, Fong Ni. Thank you for that. All right, who is next? Viet An.
Hello, teacher. Last week I visited my hometown.
Last week, I visited my hometown. Last week, I visited my hometown. Good. Why did you go there, Viet An?
I had I had to see my grandparents.
You had to see your friend's grandparents. Did you say? Is that correct?
Grandparents.
What, your grandparents? Is that right?
Yeah, grandparents.
Excuse me. Sorry. Okay, so you would say, I went to visit my grandparents. Can you say that for me, please?
I went to visit my grandparents.
Oh, good. How old are your grandparents?
Older than 60. Yes.
Older than 60. Is that right?
Mm.
Okay.
Yes.
So you would say in English, they are more than 60. They are more than 60.
They are more than 60.
Good. Okay. Usually in that sort of sentence, you don't need to say the word older. Okay. So you just say they are more than 60. They are more than 60. Okay, good. Are they still healthy, Viet Am?
Yes, they very good.
Yes. Okay.
They, yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more, please? So you said they are very good. Can you maybe tell me something they do?
They do housework.
Yes, good. They do housework. Anything else? Do they do any exercise?
Yes, they do exercise.
Okay. What sort? What sort of exercise?
Yeah.
Can you think of a word? What sort of exercise?
I don't know.
So normally, okay, so when I ask you this sort of question, you normally need to give me 2 sentences for an answer, Viet Am. So for example, you would say, if I say to you, are they healthy? Okay, you can say to me, yes, they're very good. They do housework and they do exercise every day. They do housework and they do exercise every day. So those are the 2 sentences to answer me with. Yes, they are very good. They do housework and they do exercise every day. Does that make sense, Viet Am? I think we've lost the connection. Okay, we'll move on. Knock 2. Knock 2.
Yes.
Okay, your turn, please, knock 2.
Yesterday, my team were playing the quarter final, and my team win. So for my team going to.
Okay, so sorry, knock
Semi-final.
2. Yeah.
Yes.
What is past tense of win? What should you say?
One.
1, correct.
One.
1. My team won.
My team
Okay.
won and I saw semi-final with my team playing, but because I'm goalkeeper, so yesterday I was slide in the ground, and it made me a bit exhausted. No,
All right. So, okay. So yesterday, because you were the goalkeeper, you had to slide on the ground. Okay. And did you injure yourself?
You can say it again.
Okay. Okay. So you would say, I'm goalkeeper and I had to slide on the ground and I injured myself.
Yes. Because I'm goalkeeper, I have to fly on the ground, so I have injured myself.
I injured myself. Good. Good knock 2. Okay. Well, I hope you are not too sore today. Are you feeling better today?
No, my leg is still hurt.
No. Good. Good. No, my leg still hurts. No, my leg still hurts. No, my leg still hurts. Very simple. Okay, knock 2. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better soon. I hope your leg is recovered in time for the semi-final next weekend.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you, teacher.
Okay. Who is next? Anji.
Yes, last week I had a middle term test.
Yes.
I was doing all good, but just of chemistry I be kind of bad because to me it's so difficult.
Okay, sorry, I only heard some of that, Anji. So I heard you talk about chemistry. Did you have any other test, any other subject?
Yes, but it's all good. Just for chemistry.
Just for chemistry, just chemistry.
Yes. I was studying about chemical periodic table and
Right.
clear on atomic. So I think it's so hard to understand.
Okay, very hard to understand. That's all good English, Anji. Very good English. That's good. I understood what you said exactly. That was great. So you were studying the chemical periodic table.
Yes.
That's good. Okay, and you were studying what about atomic weights?
And nuclear. It's
Right.
electron, proton, and neutron, I think.
Okay, okay. A lot of things to remember, I know. Okay, thank you, Anji. Okay, who is next? Jalin. Jalin.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Jalin, your turn, please.
This week I should review all the subjects because next week I will have midterm exams like math, English, literature, chemistry. Yeah.
Wow, you're going to be very busy. So
Yes.
which subject is going to be the most difficult for you?
I think is physics. It's so difficult.
Right. Okay. Everyone has trouble with physics. Okay. So I'm not too surprised with that. And do you say you had literature as well?
I think it's not good or not bad.
Okay. All right. So you say, so the English slang word for that, have you all heard this? You say it's so-so. Okay. Something that is not good and is not bad is
Yeah.
so-so. So-so. And people often make this hand gesture like
Okay.
this when they are saying this word. They say, literature, so-so.
Yes.
It means not good, not bad. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Good luck for your test, Charlene.
Thank you.
I hope it goes well. Okay. Who is next? Trami.
Hi, teacher.
Hi, Trami.
So we are revising for midterm examinations.
Yes.
And last week, my literature teacher said that we had to write at least 7 pages for an essay. And she just gave a topic sentence and we have to develop it into an essay. And I have to write for about 4 essays like that in just 4 days. And it's make me really depressed.
Okay. So that's very, very good English, Trami. Okay. I'm only laughing, not because you are depressed, but just the way you said it. Okay. That's why
Yeah.
you said it made me laugh. All right. But I understand perfectly what you were saying. That's very good. Okay. I just want to check 2 pronunciations, Trami. The first one is, can you say literature for me?
Literature.
Okay. It is more like it has an I instead of the A, so it is literature.
Literature.
Yeah, better. Literature. That's how you pronounce it in English. Literature. Just literature. Literature.
Yes.
Or some people will say literature. Some people say literature. But either way, literature or literature, both are acceptable. And the second one, essay. Can you say that, please?
Essays.
Essay.
Essays.
Better. That's better. Okay. At first, it sounded to me like you were saying essay, which is not correct. So it is essay.
Yes.
So the E sound as in the word get. Essay. Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you have all this work to do, Trami, and that you are feeling depressed. Okay. I hope you recover from this. Okay. I hope you survive. Have you heard of the saying before, Trami? What doesn't kill me makes me stronger. Have you heard this saying? This is a popular saying in English. Have you heard this?
Sorry, but I don't know that.
Okay, so it is popular saying in English. What doesn't kill me will make me stronger.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so it means if you survive doing all these essays, 4 essays in 4 days, okay, on the other side of that, you will be stronger, okay? It will make you tougher in here.
My teacher
Because,
also say that.
yeah, that's right. That's right. But I know it's a very difficult thing to do. And just before I know Bao Lin, I am coming to you in just a moment. Okay, so don't worry. But I just want to say that something Mrs. Ha reminded me of before. I know in Vietnamese literature, you have to write a lot. Okay, you have to write very long essays, maybe 7 pages, maybe up to 14 pages. I know for each question. In English, for the Ielts test, it is the opposite. Okay, very different. Okay, you have to write short. All right, so just remember when we are going to be doing writing exercises, I have a student in the other class who wrote his essay like it was a Vietnamese literature essay. He wrote too much, too long. Okay, the English ones need to be short. And I will tell you how many words you need to write. Okay, but in the exam, if you write too much, okay, they will take marks off you. You lose marks for writing too much in the Ielts exam. So it is a little bit the opposite. All right. Thank you, Trami. Thank you for explaining so well. Okay. All right. And I hope you survive this. All right. Because then you will be much stronger after this. Okay. All right. Bao Lin, thank you for waiting so patiently.
Yes.
Okay. Your turn, please.
Last week I had a midterm test of all subjects include English, math,
Okay.
literature, and
Okay, Bao Lin,
other
sorry.
subjects.
Okay, including.
Including.
Good. Okay, sorry. What subjects did they include?
Math, English
Yep.
subject, and geography, history, and education subject. I don't know how to say it in English.
Okay, a lot of subjects. Okay, which one is your worst subject, Bao Lin?
I think it's geography.
Geography. Geography in English. Can you say that for me, please? Geography.
Geography.
Geography. So the emphasis, the stress is on the O sound. Geography. Geography.
Geography.
Better. Okay. Why is that your worst subject, Bao Lin?
I don't know. I find it difficult because on geography say a lot about Earth and about the road.
Yes.
I can understand and the GMT, the Greenwich time. So
Yeah.
we have to calculate it, but I still don't understand.
Okay. Okay. So, well, good luck with that, Bao Lin. I hope you do well. I just show you one word you said to me. One word you said to me, Bao Lin, was this. Oops. This is the word you said to me, wasn't it, Bao Lin?
The Greenwich time, GMT.
Yeah.
GMT.
Okay. So it is pronounced like this. Okay. It is pronounced Grin. Sorry, I'll show you. Okay, this is how it is spelt. Okay, it is spelt Greenwich. Okay, it is actually pronounced like this. Okay, can you pronounce that, please, Bao Lin?
Greenwich.
Yes, correct. Greenwich. Greenwich. Okay, this is how this word is pronounced. Okay, so even though it is spelt Greenwich, okay, you pronounce it Greenwich. Greenwich. Okay, I hope that helps. Greenwich. So you talk about Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. Okay, does that make sense, Bao Lin?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you for sharing what you have done. with me, and I hope you find that useful, as I find it very useful, so I can correct your English as you are speaking. So remember, I will do this with you every session, every lesson. Please try to speak for at least 2 sentences. Do not give me a short sentence answer. So for example, it is best if you don't say, I had a test. Okay, I want to hear a little bit more than that. All right, I want to hear what sort of test it was and whether you thought it was good or bad, those sort of things. Okay, this is to practice your English fluency. Are there any questions about that? All right, let's have a look at today's test, everyone. Okay, we are looking at the words make, have, and give. These are a little bit easy to confuse in English, so we're just going to practice these now. All right, you will see there are 10 questions here. Please use the correct form of these words to fill in the gap. Okay. So please start now, unless you have any question. Okay, we're going to go with this quickly through this because I'm going to go through it with each of you individually. So I will start in the opposite order I have just done. Bao Lin. Number one.
Okay, number one. I think Manchester United has made a good start to the season.
Okay, can you spell that word for me, please, Bao Lin, just to make sure I can hear it properly?
Has made
Yeah.
has made a good start to the season.
Okay, so you are talking about M-A-D-E, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, number two, please.
He didn't give much success in persuading her to stay.
Okay, number three, please.
Lots of people have lunch at the desk, usually just a quick sandwich.
Okay, number four.
It's a good way for children to have new friends.
Okay, number five.
This sort of behavior makes the school a partner.
Okay, number six.
We have some important decisions to give about the future of the business.
Okay, number seven.
My parents give me a lift to the airport.
Number eight.
I will give a work with the I will make a work with the principal about it.
Number nine.
He give a nasty comment about her hair.
And number 10.
I will give you a ring next week and we can arrange a time to meet.
Okay, good reading. Thank you, Bao Lin. Okay, I will let you know the result at the end. Thank you. All right. Okay, who is next? It is Trami. Trami.
I think Manchester United have a good start to the season. He didn't make much success in persuading her to stay. Lots of people have lunch at their desk,
Okay, sorry, Trami. I have to get you to start again. I think the internet stopped working for a moment. Can you please start with number 1 again?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Manchester United has has have has had a good start to the seasons, and he didn't make much success in persuading her to stay. Lots of people have lunch at their desk, usually just a quick sandwich. It's a good way for children to have new friends. This sort of behavior gives the school a bad name. We have some important decisions to make about the future, have about the future of the business. My parents give me a lift to the airport. I will make a word with the principal about it. He gave a nasty comment about her hair. I will give you a ring next week and we can arrange a time to meet.
Okay, thank you for going so fast, Trami. Good reading. Okay, next, Anji. Anji.
I think Manchester United had made a good start to the season. He didn't make much success in persuading her to stay. Lots of people have lunch at their desk, usually a quick sandwich. It's a good way for children to make new friends. This sort of behavior gives the school a bad name. We have some important decisions to make about the future of the business. My parents give me a lift to the airport. I will give no, I will make a word. I will leave the word with the principal about it. He make a nasty comment about her hair, and I will give you a ring next week, and we can arrange a time to meet.
Okay, thank you, Anji, for going so quickly. Good reading. Just one thing for the rest of you to come, remember, as well as choosing the correct word of these, you have to choose the correct form of the word. Okay, so you have to choose the correct tense of the word. So you might have to change one of these words to have the correct tense. Okay, who is next? Jalin.
I think Manchester United has made a good start the season. He didn't have much success in persuading her to stay. A lot of people have lunch at their desk, usually just a quick sandwich. It's a good way for...
Hello, Jalin.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello, Jalin.
Can you hear me? I'm speaking. Can you hear me? Teacher, can you hear me? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now. I can now.
Okay,
Okay,
so
sorry,
I will
all the
try.
sound dropped out. Please start again, Jalan, from the
Yes, okay.
beginning.
I think Manchester United has made a good start to the season. He didn't have much success in persuading to her to stay. Large people have lunch at their desks, usually just a weak sandwich. It's a good way for children to make new friends. This sort of behavior gives the school a bad name. We have some important decisions to have about future of the business. My parents give me a lift to the airport. I'll give the principal about it. Uh, he make he makes a testy comment about her hair, and I'll give you a ring next week, and we can arrange time to meet.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jalan. Okay, and just this word, Jalan, this word here is nasty. Okay, nasty.
Nasty.
Yeah, nasty. That's how you pronounce it. Thank you. Which means, it means bad, of course. He made a bad comment about her hair, made a nasty comment about her hair. Thank you, Jalan. Okay, who is next? Knock two, please.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, knock two.
I think Manchester United have made a good start to the season.
No, okay, number two. Yep, keep going.
They didn't make much success in persuading her to stay. A lot of people have run at the deck usually just a quick sandwich. It's a good way for children to make new friends. It's short behaviors give the school a bad name. We have some important decision to make about the future of business. My parents give me a lift to the airport. I will give a word to the
Principal.
principal about it.
Yeah.
He make a nasty comment about her hand. I will give you a ring next week and we can arrange a time to meet.
Okay, good knock two. Okay, good try for reading. That's very good. You got almost all the words, all the reading words correct. Okay, that's good. Okay, Fung Ni.
I'm here.
Okay, whenever you're ready, please.
I think Manchester United has made a good start to the season. He didn't have much success in
Persuading.
persuading
Yeah.
to stay. Lots of people have lunch at their desk, usually just a quick sandwich. It's a good way to children to make new friends. This sort of behavior gives the school a bad name. We have some important decisions to make about the future of business. My parents give me a lift to the airport. I will give a word with the principal about it. He has a nasty comment about her hair. I will give you a ring next week and we can arrange a time to meet.
Okay, good reading, Fung Ni. Well done. Okay, next is Viet An, please.
I think Manchester United had made a good start to the season. He didn't have much success in persuading her to stay. A lot of people have lunch at their desks, usually just a quick sandwich. It's a good way for children to make new friends. This sort of behavior gives the school a bad name. We have some important decisions to have about the future of the business. My parents give me a lift to the airport. I will give a word with the principal about it. He has a nasty comment about her hair. I will give you a ring next week and we can arrange a time to meet.
Okay, thank you, Viet An. All right, we're almost there. Fung Lin, please.
I think Manchester United has made a good start to the season. He didn't give much success in persuading her to stay. Lots of people have lunch at their desk, usually just a quick sandwich. It's a good way for children to make new friends. This sort of behavior gives the school a bad name. We have some important decisions to make about the future of the business. My parents give me a lift to the airport. I will make a word with the principal about it. He makes a nasty comment about her hair, and I will give you a ring next week and can arrange a time to meet.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, Fung Lin. All right, I'll just add up the scores. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. Okay, everyone. Okay, I will give you your scores and then I will go quickly through the answers. No, in fact, I'll go through the answers first, then I will give you your scores and just check on a couple of words. There are a couple of words which I think everyone got wrong, just a couple. All right, so the first one, number 1 is, I think Manchester United has, now you can use 2 words here. 2 words are correct. Has made a good start to the season, or you can also say has had a good start to the season, past tense of have. So either of those 2 are correct. Has made a good start to the season or has had a good start to the season. Both of those are correct. Number 2, he didn't have much success in persuading her to stay. Number 3, lots of people have lunch at their desk, usually just a quick sandwich. Number 4, it's a good way for children to make new friends. Number 5, this sort of behavior gives, with an S on the end, please. This sort of behavior gives the school a bad name. Number 6, we have some important decisions to make about the future of the business. Number 7, my parents, I think everyone got this, yeah, everyone got this wrong. My parents gave me a lift to the airport. It has to be past tense in this sentence. My parents gave me a lift to the airport. Okay, I will go back to this in just a moment, but gave is the correct answer for 7. I'll have a word with the principal about it. He made a nasty comment about her hair, not he give a nasty comment about her hair, doesn't make sense. And the last one, everyone got correct. I'll give you a ring next week. We can arrange a time to meet. Okay, so just very quickly, the ones most people got wrong, I think, there, 7, 8, and 9. So just quickly, my parents gave me a lift to the airport is correct. If, because for past tense, if you are talking about present tense, you need to say, my parents will give me a lift to the airport. So that's why give is not correct in this case. You need to have another word in here. My parents will give me a lift to the airport. So for this question, to use just one word, you had to choose the past tense of give, which is gave. I'll have a word with the principal about it. I'll have a word, okay, is a very common phrase in English. I'll have a word. It is never, I will give a word. It is never, well, not in this sentence anyway, I'll make a word. You always say, I'll have a word. I'll have a word with him. I'll have a word with my teacher. I'll have a word with the principal. It's always have. I'll have a word. And this one here, he made a nasty comment. Not give. Okay, he made. Okay, again, it is a common phrase. He made a cake. Okay, he made an aeroplane. He made a nasty comment about her hair. Okay, so the scores are Bao Lin, 3 out of 10. Tra Mi, 3 out of 10. Anji, 4 out of 10. Jalin, 6 out of 10. Nok Tu, 5 out of 10. Phung Ni, 7 out of 10. Viet An, 6 out of 10. And Phung Lin, 5 out of 10. So congratulations, Phung Ni. You are the winner this time. Well done. 7 out of 10. All right. So does anyone have any questions about this? Or we leave this? Okay. The thing to remember is often you will get, and I will do this in another lesson, you get phrases in which all the words usually go together. An example of this is he made a. Okay, you will often hear he made a, she made a. Okay, so usually you will hear made in a comment like that. So you don't often have to think what word goes in here. Okay, you just need to think he made a comment. He made a cake. She made an ice cream. She made some rice. Okay, those words all go together. I'll have a word. If you're going to do something with a word, you always have a word. Means I'll talk to. I'll have a word with the principal about it. Means I'm going to talk to the principal. So again, a lot of these words you will just learn as part of phrases. So the more we practice this, the more familiar you will become with the phrase. And then you don't have to think about each individual word. I hope that makes sense. Any questions before we stop this? Okay. So now we're going to look very quickly at this. I think, have I done this before? Rami?
Yes.
Rami, have we done this before? Do you remember this?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Trami. Okay. So looking at writing test 1 for the Ielts test, which is always about a graph, a chart, a table, a map, or a diagram. It is always about one of these 5 things. Okay, you'll have to analyze one of these 5 things. Your first sentence, okay, will always be a description of what the graph or the chart or the table or the map or the diagram shows. Okay, these are all synonyms that you can use instead of saying shows. Okay, Phung Lin.
Yes.
Okay, Phung Lin, can you read all the synonyms for me, please?
First sentence, the graph chart, table, map, diagram.
Yeah, so sorry, Fung Lin, this one here is pronounced diagram. Diagram. Yeah, great. Okay, keep going, please.
Shows, illustrates, describes,
Illustrates is correct. Illustrates.
illustrates,
Yeah.
illustrates, describes, demonstrates, reveals who,
Good.
what, where, when.
Okay, good. So everyone, please remember that was good reading too, Fung Lin. Well done. So it is shows, illustrates, describes, demonstrates, reveals. These all mean the same thing. All these words mean the same thing. And it is useful to know them because some of them are more formal than others. Shows, okay, is a simple word. This graph shows. So it is often better to use one of the more formal words like illustrates, describes, or demonstrates. And then the rest of the sentence, you will go on to say, well, what does the graph show? What does the graph show? Or what does the chart illustrate? All right. What does the table describe? Who, what, where, when? All right. So this is always your first sentence when you are answering writing test 1. Okay. Your second sentence or paragraph will usually start with these words. It can be clearly seen that, okay, and this is where you describe the main point or trend of the graph, chart, table, map, or diagram. Okay, this is how you start the sentence. It can be clearly seen that, I don't know, Manchester United win more games than Manchester City, for example. But you always start off with this phrase. It can be clearly seen that. Okay, if you memorize or remember this phrase, you can't go wrong. Okay, there are other ways of saying this, but as long as you know this one, all right, you can't go wrong. It can clearly seen that. All right. When you get to the next 2 paragraphs where you describe what happens in the graph, chart, table, map, or diagram, when you are describing in detail, all right, these are the basic words you need to know. Again, these are all synonyms, Viet An. Viet An.
Yes.
Okay, Viet An, can you read these first 4 synonyms for me, please? These first 4.
So, where I can rise, increase, climb, goes up.
Okay, that's all. Okay, so remember to put the S on these words, Viet An. Rises. Good. Rises. Okay, and the next one, increases. Good. Remember, it has an S on the end. Increases. Okay, and the others were correct. Climbs and goes up. So these 4, okay, all mean the same thing. They are all synonyms. Rises, increases, climbs, goes up. Okay, the next set of synonyms, please. Fung Ni.
Yeah.
Okay, Fung Ni, the next set of synonyms, please.
Can you say again?
Okay, can you please read for me this next set of synonyms? All right.
For
Đi học tập trung rồi chứ con. Đọc to lên.
Decrease.
Decreases.
Decline. Drops. Goes down.
Okay, good. All right. So falls, decreases, declines, drops, goes down. These are all synonyms for when something goes down. Okay, in a graph, chart, or diagram. Falls, decreases, declines, drops, goes down. So again, please, it is worth learning these words to describe what happens when something goes down. And I'm sure you have all noticed that these words here are the opposite of these words. Okay, these words here all mean something is going up. These words here, something is coming down. Okay, so falls, decreases, declines, drops, goes down. Okay, knock two, please. Knock two.
Does
Okay, next set, please.
doesn't change, remains at the same level, remains stable.
Good. Okay, again, these three phrases all mean the same thing, all meant to describe when you see maybe a line on a graph that goes straight. Okay, it doesn't change. It remains at the same level, or it remains stable. Stable is something that doesn't change. Stable is something that doesn't change. Okay, thank you, Noktu. Jalin.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Jalin, can you read the next sentence, please, for me? This one
The
here.
highest point of a graph is a peak. The lowest part is the lowest point.
Good. Okay, very simple. The highest point of a graph is a peak. A peak is usually shaped like this, okay? Like the top of a mountain, a peak. Highest point of a graph is a peak. The lowest point of a graph, maybe when it goes like this, or just like this, is the lowest point. The lowest point. That's how you describe it. Okay, thank you, Jalin. Anji.
Yes.
Can you read the next sentence, please?
The speed of change also matters. You should say how fast, rapidly, quickly, or how slowly, gradually, steadily the change happened.
Okay, very good reading, Anji. Excellent reading, perfect. So, okay, so these are the words, the adjectives you use when to say how fast something is going. Something happens fast, rapidly, or quickly. All right, or the opposite, if something happens slowly, you can also use the words gradually or steadily. For example, the graph steadily decreases, means it slowly goes down. Right. Try me.
Yes,
Can you read?
there's often an order to the trends. Easy, the rise was preceded by a drop and followed by a decline.
Okay, good reading, Trami. That's great. Okay, do you know what EG means, by the way, Trami?
It means example.
Means for example. For example. Very good. For example. EG, for example. That's great. So if it says the rise was preceded by a drop, it means the drop came before the rise. That's what preceded means. Followed by, I'm sure, is easy. Okay. And the last one, Baolin.
Yes. Numbers can be boring, so it had to add a little color when describing them. Don't just write one from 100 in 1999 or to 55 in 20 in 20,000 no in
Close.
2000 in
Almost, Baolin, almost. What is it? 2000 and what?
2001.
Correct. Yes.
Instead, increased by 155 between 1999 and 2001, or had risen to 255 by 2001.
Okay, that's good, Darlin. Okay, good practice for your reading numbers. I'll just check them with you, okay? So went from 100 is easily. So when you see a year like this, you pronounce it 1999, okay? You don't need to say 1999. That's not how you pronounce years in English. You always say 1999 or 1980 or 1970 or 1910 even. That's how you say it. 19, then the number 99. A number like this, 255. Okay, so you always, in a 3-digit number, always the first number is 100 of some sort. In this case, it is 200. 255, and years that begin with a 2 is 2001 or 2002 or 2003 and so on. Okay, this year, by the way, is either 2022 or Berlin.
And that's
But what is the other way I can say the name of this year? 2022 or?
and 20
Yes. Keep going. I can say 2022 or what? Sorry, Berlin, it is breaking up.
Yes, my internet is.
That's okay, Berlin, don't worry. I see your internet is a bit tricky. Okay, don't worry. Trami.
Yes.
Okay, Trami, did you hear what I asked Berlin? This year, okay, the year we are in now, I can pronounce it 2 ways. I can say 2022 or what?
2022 or 2022.
Correct. Well done, Trami. Excellent. Is correct. Okay, so this year is 2022, or most people say 2022 because it's shorter and easier to say. Okay, so anytime you see a year written like that, this one here is a little bit different. You would say 2001. You wouldn't say 2001. Doesn't sound quite correct. Okay, but once you get past the number 10, as in 2010, you can start to say it 2010. 2011 is 2011. 2012 is 2012, and so on. You can say that. All right, so sorry to take so long to make this point. What I am saying here is don't just look at a graph and say the number went from 100 to 255. Better to use adjectives like increased, okay, or had risen, okay, to show your English vocabulary. Use these words. So instead of just saying went, okay, so increased or had risen or decreased or declines, all these words here that we've just looked at. Are there any questions about these words before we practice using them? Okay, very good. Okay, I hope you are still awake and staying with me. Are you still awake, Jarlin?
I'm here.
Good. Are you still awake?
No.
I hope the answer is yes, is what you're supposed to say. Okay. All right, everyone. So you remember this graph. that we have seen before. So we are just going to quickly review this graph, then we will go on to another one, because I'm sure you are getting a little bit bored with just looking at this one graph. So remember, these are examples of line graphs, okay? Remember, this is the x-axis, the vertical axis. Whoops, this is the y-axis, the horizontal axis, okay? Jalin.
I'm here.
Okay, Jalin, what does the x-axis show, please? What is it measuring?
The x-axis show the number of people.
Yes. Okay. In what, Jalin? In
X-axis.
yeah. In how many? Okay. Look at this here.
6 million.
In yeah. In millions.
In millions. In 6
In millions. Okay, that's very good, Jalin. You are awake. Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, Anji.
Yes.
All right, Anji, what does the horizontal or y-axis measure?
The y-axis measure the year when traffic accident.
Okay. Yeah, the y-axis measures years. Okay, in what intervals, Anji? In intervals of what?
In the traffic accident.
Aha, no, I'm still talking about the number of years. In intervals. Intervals, by the way, means how many years between each part of the graph. How many years?
It's 20 years.
Correct. Okay, so the answer is in intervals of 20 years. In intervals of 20 years. As you can see, 1960, 1980, 2000, 2020, or 2020. 20 years are between each of those intervals. Okay, thank you, Anji. So again, just to remind you, the x-axis is this one, shows the number of people, okay, measured in millions. 5 million, 6 million, 4 million. The y-axis, or the horizontal axis, shows the number of years in intervals of 20 years. Okay, I'm sure you all know that. Who is next? All right. What we need to do now, just very quickly, is to make sure we understand what the graph is showing us. Okay, knock two.
Yes.
Okay, knock two. What does this line here? What does this line here show us? What does it? You can read from here if you like, knock two. Okay, you can read from here.
The number of people in Vietnam who are included in traffic accident
is correct. Knock two is correct. Yes. Okay. The number of people injured every year in traffic accidents. Okay. Remembering Phung Ni.
I'm here.
Okay, Phung Ni. So remembering, okay, what we looked at in the last page that I showed you, okay, what is this part of the line called? Can you remember the word for this?
This is called a pig.
Correct. Very good, Phung Ni. Very good. Okay, and Phung Ni, what is this part called?
This is called the lowest point.
Correct, Phung Ni. In what year was the lowest point?
In 2000.
Very good, Phung Ni. Okay, you understand perfectly. That's very good. That's great. Okay, Viet An. Hello, Viet An.
Việt Anh ơi, Việt Anh, bật cái mic lên. He's not here. Bật mic lên nào. Okay, yes, he's here.
Okay, Viet An. Okay, I hope you are not going to sleep.
Con thẳng thẳng mặt con lên xem nào, sẽ ở mỗi cái chán không thì ai nhìn thấy mặt đâu. Thẳng mặt lên. Okay.
Okay, Viet. All right, Viet An. Looking at this line on the graph, please. This line. What does this line show us, or what is it measuring?
This line show.
Okay, you are yeah.
Multiple like the number of people in Vietnam who are injured every year in traffic accidents.
Okay, so not this line. That is what this line is showing, Viet An. That's what this line shows. What about this line, the solid line?
The number of police officers supervising traffic in Vietnam.
Okay, good, Viet An. So what is this part of that line called? Remembering what we looked at in the last page, what is this part called? In 1980,
a downturn.
Okay. Not down to. Can you remember what the bottom part is called? The lowest part of the graph. Can you remember?
The lowest. Can you say again?
This here, you can see in 1980, okay, is the lowest part of the graph, okay, when they had the least number of police officers. Trying to remember what I showed you on the last page we were looking at, what is this called? What is the name for this? You can't remember? Okay. Phung Ni, can you remind him, please? Phung Ni.
It's the lowest point.
Correct. Thank you, Phung Ni. Okay. Viet An, it is called the lowest point. Okay. The lowest point. Lowest point. Okay. Viet An.
Yes.
Okay. Looking at the other line, this line here, what is this part called, please?
It's the highest point.
Yes, or what?
For the number of people in Vietnam who own car.
It is the highest point, but what is the word you use to describe this part of the graph? Begins with P. Remember? It is the peak. Peak. Okay, peak. P-E-A-K, peak. This is the peak of the graph, the highest point. Okay, and this is the lowest point. Okay, thank you, Viet An. Okay, Phung Linh.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Phung Linh, what does this line on the graph show us? You can read Phung Linh. It is written down there. What does it say?
The number of
And you see, Phung Linh, it's okay?
yes, I can see.
Okay, and so which one of these does it refer to?
The number of people in Vietnam who own cars.
Who own cars is correct. The number of people in Vietnam who own cars. Okay, you can see because this is the line with big gaps between each part of the line. Okay, that's good. So in what year, Phung Linh, what year is the year that most people own cars?
2020 is the year people have most own car.
Okay, 2020 is the year when the most people owned cars. Okay, and one more. What happened, Fung Lin, between 1960 and 1980?
1960 and 1980.
What happened to the number of people who owned cars?
Boost.
Between 1960 and 1980, what happened?
The number of people have a own car is it's like a rocket.
So can you remember what we looked at in the last page? How to describe this? So you can see the line is like this. Okay, Fung Lin, isn't it?
Yes.
The line is straight. Can you remember some of the words we used to describe that? When you see it, the line remains straight. What do we say? It doesn't what? It doesn't. Doesn't change. Doesn't change.
This doesn't change.
Yeah. Okay. So you can see between 1960 and 1980, the number of people who owned cars in Vietnam doesn't change. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So when you see the line straight like this, you can say it doesn't change. All right. How many people, Fung Lin, owned cars in 1960 and 1980? How many people?
2 million people.
Correct. Okay, you were reading that part correct. Thank you. Bao Lin.
Yes.
Can you remember what were two of the other synonyms that I mentioned for when something doesn't change?
Doesn't change.
So you can, yeah, I can hear you. There were two other synonym phrases I used. Can you remember either of them?
I think it's
Sorry, you can't remember. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay, that's okay. All right. So one of them was remains steady. Okay, remains steady. Can you hear me, Bao Lin?
Oh, I forgot to open the mic.
Yeah. Okay. So remains steady.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other one was either remains or stays stable. Stable. So everyone, the three things, the three terms to remember when you are describing something that doesn't change. Well, one, okay, it doesn't change. Between 1960 and 1980, the number of people owning cars in Vietnam didn't change. I've changed to past tense now, by the way. Okay, it didn't change. Okay, Trami.
Yes.
Okay, between 1960 and 1980, the number of people owning cars in Vietnam didn't change. Can you give me another synonym for that?
The number of people in Vietnam who owned cars between 1960 and 1980 still stable remains.
Oh, close. Good try, Trami. Remained stable.
Remain stable.
Remain stable. That's okay, Trami. Don't need to say sorry. We're learning. Okay, we are practicing. Very good, though. You understood what I was trying to get you to say. That's good, Trami. Okay, so remain stable. That's very good. All right. Anji.
Yes.
Okay. What happened? Okay. What happened between 1960 and 1980? Okay. To the number of people who were injured in traffic accidents every year. Between 1960 and 1980, what happened?
I think it's gradually sink. It goes down.
Okay, so we're looking at here between 1960, okay, and 1980. All right, so we're looking at the number of people who are injured in traffic accidents, which remember is this line here. Okay, Anji, what happened?
It's increased.
Okay, increased by what? How many?
Increased by 2 million.
Correct, Anji. Now you are doing it correctly. Okay, between 1960 and 1980, okay, remember this is what you would normally write down in your answer, but now I'm getting you just to practice it verbally. Okay, so Anji, the answer is between 1960 and 1980, the number of people injured in traffic accidents in Vietnam increased by 2 million. Okay, did it increase rapidly, Anji, or slowly? What would you say?
I think it increased rapidly.
Increased rapidly. I would tend to say actually, Anji, in this case, because remember we're talking about a period, an interval of 20 years. So it's a long time, okay, a long time. So I would say increased maybe slowly, maybe, or increased steadily, all right? Okay, if this measured, by the way, if this year was 1960 and this year was 1961, okay, then you would say increased rapidly. Does that make sense, Anji?
Yes.
Yeah, but instead, because we are talking about 20 years, okay, it has taken a long time. So we can say more slowly. Thank you, Anji. Jalin.
Here.
Okay. What happened to the number of police officers supervising traffic in Vietnam? What happened between the years 1960 and 1980?
1960 and 1980.
Yeah.
The number of people, the number of police officers supervising traffic in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Is like 4.
Okay. What is another? Okay. So remember, we're talking past tense here. What is the past tense of fall?
Felt. Sorry.
No, not close. Not felled, but.
Past tense.
Tense. Yeah. What is past tense of fall?
Fell.
Yes, fell. Very simple. Fell.
Yeah.
Good. Good. Okay. What is a synonym for fell that begins with the letter D that we looked at on the previous sheet? Can you remember?
Letter P.
D. D.
A D.
Yeah. A synonym for fell.
I think it's downturn.
Not quite. D-E. D-E. Jalin.
D-E. Decrease.
Yes. Yes, Jalin. Very good. Very good. Okay.
Yes.
The number of police officers decreased between 1960 and 1980. By how many, Jalin?
By, I think it's 2 million.
Decreased by about 2 million. You are correct, Jalin.
Yes.
Well done. Okay, you are reading the graph correctly. Thank you. Knock 2.
Yes.
Okay, knock 2. Between 1980 and 2020, what happened to the number of police officers in Vietnam between 1980 and 2020?
People who did it in 20
Okay, so we're looking at this line here, knock 2. Okay.
It rose.
It rose. Good. It rose. Okay. What is another synonym for rose that is the opposite of the word decreased?
Decrease.
Okay. A word that means the same as rose that is the opposite of decreased. Can you remember? If you can't, don't worry. Just tell me. Okay, it is increased. 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 Okay, increased is a synonym for rose. Okay, so between 1980 and 2020, the number of police officers in Vietnam increased or rose by how many? Knock two.
Maybe 3 to 5 million to 4
Increased. So okay, so it went from here.
2.5 to 4.5.
Okay, so how many is that? It increased by how many? What is the difference between 2.5 and 4.5? Okay, it is 2 million, not 2.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Maybe
2 million. It is 2 million. Okay, from here to here is 2 million. Okay, from 2.5 to 4.5 is 2 million. So you would say between 1980 and 2020, the number of police officers in Vietnam increased or rose by 2 million. Okay, thank you, Ngoc Tu. Phung Ni.
I'm here.
Okay, Phung Ni. The number of people in Vietnam who own cars reached a peak. Okay, reached a peak in what year?
The peak.
The number of people in Vietnam who own cars reached a peak in what year?
Reached a peak in 2020.
Correct. Okay, so that's very good. So remember, everyone, a peak doesn't have to look exactly like this. A peak is also just the highest point of a graph. Okay, so a peak doesn't have to go like this, having two lines. A peak can just be this bit here of a line that goes like this. Thank you, Phung Ni, you are correct. Okay, Phung Ni, looking at the number of people in Vietnam who are injured in traffic accidents every year reached a low point when?
The number of people in Vietnam who were injured every year in traffic accident, the lowest,
Reached a low point in what year?
Lowest point in 2000.
Okay, in 2000. Correct, Phung Ni. That's good. Okay, thank you. Viet An.
Yes.
Okay, in what year did the number of people injured in traffic accidents in Vietnam reach its peak?
It's 1980.
Correct.
No?
Thank you. 1980. Correct. It reached a peak in 1980. And the last one for today, Phung Lin. Hello, Phung Lin.
Yes.
Phung
Hello,
Lin.
teacher.
Okay. Phung Lin, how many people were injured in traffic accidents in Vietnam in the year 2020?
In the year 2020, it's about 2.7 million of people in Vietnam who are injured in traffic accident.
What is the past tense of are? What is the past tense of are?
2.7 million.
Yeah. Okay. And what is the past tense of are? You said are injured. Remember, we're talking past tense here, 2020. What word do you use instead of are?
Yes. He was injured every year.
Close, close. You use were.
Yeah.
Who were injured. Okay. And Fung Lin, how many people were injured how many police officers were there in the year 1980? How many police officers?
How many? Can you say again?
How many police officers were there in the year 1980?
1980. Police officer 1980. It's about 4.2 million of people.
So remember police officers. All right. Remember looking at the key here. Police officers is this line.
It's about 2.5 police officer.
2.5 what? 2.5.
Police officers.
Yeah. What word goes between 2.5 and police officer? 2.5 what? What is this measuring? 2.5 what?
2.5 million of
correct. 2.5 million. Yes. 2.5 million. 2.5 million police officers were injured. Okay. And the last question. Okay. Fung Lin. Okay. Before you relax completely, Fung Lin. Okay. How many people were injured in traffic accidents in the year 1970?
1970 is about 3.5 million of people in Vietnam who were injured in traffic accidents.
Okay, almost perfect, Fung Lin. You say 3.5 million people that you don't need to say of. Okay, 3.5 million people were injured in traffic accidents. Okay, thank you, Fung Lin. Well done. All right, everybody. Okay. Sorry, we've gone a little bit over time. That's the end of the lesson for today. We didn't get on to the bar graph. Next week, we will do the bar graph because I'm sure you're getting tired of looking at the traffic accident one. But this was to give you practice, okay, in how to describe what is happening in a graph. All right. So remember, the vertical line is called trami. I can see you first. It's called the what axis? The vertical line on the graph?
This is the x-axis.
X-axis, correct. Viet An.
Yes.
What is the horizontal line on a graph called? The what
It's
axis? Y-axis, correct. Very good. I'm glad you remember. Okay, time for you to go and have lunch now, everyone. Thank you for paying attention. Thank you for being in the class this afternoon. Does anyone have any questions before we go? Okay, thank you. Fung Ni, and congratulations again. What was that? 7.
Này Phương Nhi làm tốt thế à?
7 out of 10, Fung Ni. That was very good. Very good. That was well done. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. Hope you all have a happy week and a good week, and good luck to those of you who have exams. Okay. I'll be thinking of you. Try me. Please don't get too depressed. Okay, try me. This will make you. This will make you stronger. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, teacher. Goodbye, teacher.
Bye-bye. Bye, Ballin.